The story of this Ibanez GSA 60. I got this guitar really cheap, and when I picked it up, the bridge was way off the body because it was missing a spring in the back. So the first thing I did is put a third spring on there. Got the bridge flat against the body, and then I went to play it and check it out, and I noticed that the action was really high. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to lower the saddles. And I noticed there's no posts on the saddles. You can still raise up the whole bridge up and down by raising and lowering the posts on the bridge, but even when I put the posts all the way down, the action was still a little bit higher than I wanted it. So I thought, no problem, I'll just add a shim between the neck and the body here, so it raised the neck closer to the strings. I got a thick enough shim to raise the fretboard up enough that I could raise the bridge up a little bit, and the action's pretty good, and it's about 5/64 or so over the 12th fret on the high E string. So I think that it doesn't need a fret leveling, but I also think that ice cream sundaes don't need a cherry on top, but it's way better with one. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a leveling, crown and polish the frets, roll the fret ends, adjust the intonation again, give a whole setup, get that action a little bit lower. I'll loosen the strings and time back. Next, I'll mark the frets. Now I can start leveling the frets. I'm curious to see about how straight this neck is. After one pass, it looks like all the frets are beginning to get filed. None of them are real tall, none of them are real low. While I've got the guitar like this, I'm gonna get the fret edges totally flush. It feels so nice and silky smooth. It's one of my favorite parts of the job. Now I'm going to mark the frets again in a different color. Now I'll put this spacer next to the nut, put the strings back on, and get the strings tuned back up again. So it's got the string lifter in, and it's in tune again. Now I'm going to level the frets again with the strings on. Slide that level under the strings, and level them one more time for absolute maximum precision. Frets are leveled again. So I'm going to mark the frets one final time, this time, so I can do the crowning. Now I'm going to crown the frets with my crowning file. I'm going to avoid taking any material directly off the top of the fret while filing a little bit off of each side. And I'm going to roll the fret ends. When the ends are all rolled and smooth, follow that up with polishing with a scrubbing pad. And finally, I'll give the frets a polishing with super fine grade steel wool. Now that I've got the action nice and low, it's time to file down the nut slots. There's three main purposes to filing down the nut slots. One reason is to make sure you get a nice smooth groove that'll let the string slide as it needs to and won't bind up. Another thing I keep in mind while filing the nut slots is that I want them to end up with a good break angle, meaning the highest part of the slot in the nut is on the fret side and the lowest part of the slot is on the tuner side. Of course, the main point of filing the nut slots, and the most important part, is to get the height of the strings over the first fret just right, not too high, not too low. The height should be somewhere around 0.01 inches, but players can adjust this to their own preference. It seems like every entry-level guitar that I set up needs the fret slots to be filed down. They're just always too high. I think I've got the intonation mostly set. Let me check it one more time. Open low E string is in tune. It's in tune on the 12th fret. Open A string's in tune. And it's in tune on the 12th fret. And the harmonic sounds in tune. B's in tune. It's a tiny bit low on the 12th. So I need to make this note higher. So I need to move the saddle to make it shorter. So to move the saddle forward, I will unscrew the screw. Okay, intonated. It's all set up. Now it's time to make a demo video.